Welcome to the Liverpool Connection podcast. Julian Lane, I'm here with Glenn. We are here to discuss Wolves versus Liverpool, which is this Saturday. A game that we need to win. Wolves need to win. We've played Wolves twice this season, both in the FA Cup. This is the first time we have played them in the league because the first game, which was scheduled to be at Anfield, was postponed. So what do we think, Glenn? We're obviously not playing well. We all know that. We don't need to go over that. Wolves have looked a little bit better of late, but they're in a treacherous position, so they need the points just like we do. So, Glenn, what's your thoughts on this one?
I think I've been impressed with them in the two games that we played them. I think away from home they weren't that great. Well, maybe that was because we were better, but I think their manager's really good, and they've got a couple of really good players. Wolves, I really expect them to stay up. And done a little bit of business in the transfer window as well. So, mate, predicting a score or predicting how the game will actually go. Looking at them, I know we had a little chat before it. Looking at their last few fixtures before us, obviously they've been beaten by us, and they got beaten by City as well. But before that, they've done actually all right. They beat West Ham. They done well again. They done well in the Carling Cup or whatever it's called these days. They got knocked out on pens there, so they're doing all right. They didn't play last weekend as well, and I'm not massively optimistic, to be honest with you. What about yourself?
It is. I mean, Wolves are a surprise. I am surprised that they are low this season. They have a number of brilliant players. The manager's trying to figure them all out. He changed formation as well. That made a big difference. Losing Connor Cody, I think, was huge as well. I mean, he was a big part of that Wolves side that were doing really well. I know he hasn't been great at Everton, but for Wolves, he was an integral part of the three at the back they were playing. But it's impossible to call this game like it has been for Liverpool, our games over the entirety of this season. I mean, it's hard to say what he's going to do with the team. Bajetic, for example, has started the last three games in a row. I was surprised he started the last one. I'm going to say again, I'll be surprised if he starts this one. 4 in a row for a young player that obviously has an abundance of talent, right? It's not something that Klopp normally would do, would throw a youngster in and play him so much. But when your only other option for that position is Fabinho, and we saw what Fabinho was like when he came on the other day when he should have got that red card, then what do? The only other option is, Henderson hasn't started for a while. Do you play Henderson there? So it's a hard situation, really.
Yeah, I think Fabinho coming on the other day, honestly, I've never known a footballer. I bet you he even tried to get sent off there just to give himself a couple of weeks off, because my God, the fella doesn't half need a couple of weeks just on a beach somewhere. He looks like he can't be asked at all. He just wants the season over with, which, considering that we're only halfway through, is not good. But let's go back a touch then, because obviously we've found out about Canate. This couldn't be any more shite for us this season. Canate gets injured for 3 weeks, and it just goes from bad to worse. Poor Nat Phillips must just be sitting at home. He must have got that text and been like,
it's like, please let me leave. I've been wanting to leave.
I know.
But he's such a nice bloke, it seems. He never comes out in the press or whatever. No. And it seems he's but yeah, I feel for him, really.
Centre halves, I mean, it's going to have to. You would think. You think it's going to be Gomez and Matip?
Yes. I mean, we have to win. We have to get points, and we still have to, even though the Champions League positions looks tough at the moment. The fact is, we're only just halfway through the season. There is still a chance. It's extremely slim based on how we've been playing, but yeah, and Klopp's always been a person that looks, he looks to the next game and says he wants to play his strongest team. I can't see anything other than Matip and Gomez unless one picks up a knock in the next few days, which is extremely likely, right? But
that's the thing. If you look at our centre halves, them two, as in Matip and Gomez, are the two ones that do get little shitty knocks here and there.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh my god. The only thing is, obviously, after Wolves, we don't play now until Everton, which is the Monday night. It's like 9 days.
Yeah.
So you'd think that Gomez will play, and this is the thing. Like you're talking there about Bezic, like this will be Gomez's, I think, like fourth on the bounce as well.
Which, I mean, for him, I mean, with his experience, in a way, I mean, he's been all right. There's been.
I'm talking more injuries wise.
Yeah, but what can you do, really? I mean, if they're fit, they have to start, really, because you can't. I guess there is a very slim possibility that Phillips plays, but because of that gap that we have between this game and the next game, then he's going to go, you would have thought, with the best lineup to get the maximum points against Wolves, which is Matip and Gomez. So
what are you doing at fullback then?
I mean, Robertson, of course, left back, right back. He's probably going to play Trent, I think. I don't think he's going to play Milner for this one at right back.
No.
I would have thought for this he's going to play Trent. That.
You know what? There's something in my head as well that I wouldn't really even be against Milner playing centre midfield for this,
Would he be an option, right? Yeah. As what you're thinking, is he maybe someone at the number 6? Could he do that job?
I wouldn't even say there. I was just thinking like this. It's funny because we're saying the same things about every freaking player, but like Kite, for example, like, do you want him to start one more game? Do you know what I mean? Do you want him to start in that one more game? Like, I wouldn't necessarily be against a Milner or a Henderson. By the way, I thought Kite has done okay. I thought that the last game against Brighton,
he has.
He was okay, but then he sort of went off a little bit, and he went off the boil a little bit. I'm thinking, maybe a Henderson or a Milner comes in simply just to be a little bit more solid. Again, I wouldn't mind I wouldn't really care if Kite did start or not, but I'm thinking maybe a Milner and a thing. I'd have Bezic play again, and then he never gets a rest. But I just can't see how Thiago doesn't play as well, to be honest with you. And that would be my midfield 3, even though I've gave about 6 options there.
But he could, I mean, Henderson hasn't started for the last 3 games. It might be more, but definitely the last 3. Henderson hasn't started, so he's due a start. While on the other hand, Thiago has started, a bunch in a row, and he's been, he's been decent as well at the same time. So, and you have to, I mean, with how short we are, you got to think of injuries, and I think he's going to start Henderson, and I think he's going to start Keita, and then he's not going to start. He's probably going to start Bajetic again, which I would be surprised. But I mean, as the lack of options, really, you have Milner that maybe could do a job there. You got Fabinho, who was utter crap when he came on. I think the last thing he's going to do is start him in this. But I would say it's going to be Bajetic, Henderson, and Keita, I think, is what he's going to play in this.
What's your thoughts in?
But we'll be completely wrong, whatever we pick, because we always are, which is fine. But yeah.
What would you do up top?
Up top is interesting. This is what I would do, right? And he's probably not going to do that. I would play Núñez left, Salah through the middle, Elliott right. That's the front 3 that I would like to see based on who is fit at the moment.
Yeah.
Elliot on that right hand side, that to me is going forward his best position. But you're going to have Salah starting, and Salah, while not ideal, he can do a job in the middle. And Nunes, to me, with what we've seen, he's better. Maybe the number 9 is his future, but at the moment, from what we've seen, he looks far better to me on the left. Will Klopp do that? I don't know, but that's what I would pick. Klopp, he's probably going to go Nunes middle, Gakpo left, Salah right. But
See, I think Harvey's been really. I mean, especially in the last game, I thought he was really good. In the first half, particular,
yeah, it was.
away
Yeah.
one against them in the away in the cup in the one at the Molineux in the cup.
Yeah.
Like we're playing just Wolves and Brighton all the time, so it's like. But I thought he was really good. He was really good in that game as well. But saying that, I think I'd like to see Gakpo play more through the middle. And it's more about if that's what he's going to sort of do long term. I wouldn't mind seeing that again. With Nunes down the left and Salah down the right, and then maybe Harvey to come on. I think so. I just think there was little parts of Gakpo's game that, especially in the first half, that I did enjoy, that sort of bringing people into play, and we did create a couple of chances that first half.
Yeah.
So I think I'd want to see that. Nunes was really poor when he come on.
He will, yeah.
And again, he's literally just come back, so it's a tough one, but I wouldn't mind seeing. I hope we set up like we did when we played against Wolves. A lot more solid, a lot more counter attacking. And I think if we do that, then we've got a chance. If you think about the game against Brighton the weekend, first 30 minutes or so, we did create chances just being like that and being a lot more solid. And then second half, we came well more open. So, yeah, who knows, mate?
Yeah, there's just been this like epic drop off second half that we have seen, and it's hard to put your finger on. I mean, the whole season, it's been a mess, right? We've said it from the beginning. We're going through. We don't know. We're looking at the team every week. We don't know who's going to play where, which is the number one problem, right? You're guessing, and then the lineup comes out, and it's completely different to what you expect. But it's a game that all I want to see a bit of passion, like some energy, like some movement, and that is the biggest thing for me that is lacking. Even Virgil van Dijk, before he was injured, he was like shockingly poor compared to how good he has been since he's been at Liverpool. And everyone, I remember, was talking about like his mind's on the World Cup, he'll be fine when he gets back. But he was poor. Fabinho's been poor the entire season. Trent half the time looks like he's not bothered. Of course he is bothered, right? But you look at him off the ball and he's just kind of strolling around while the other team's attacking. And this is running through the entire side. It's more than what I'm trying to say is this is not an individual problem. This is a group collective issue that's going on behind the scenes, because there's far too many players who are outstanding world-class players that have been performing way below the quality that they have been previously. That's the biggest thing for me.
I think I mean, like I've said throughout on this podcast or with you in the pub or whatever, it's not just a player or two players. So I'm always defending like players just because there's so many of them. But the one that's really concerning me is Mo Salah. He like, especially in that last game, the opportunities where he could run at players and commit defenders, and he's not doing that. He looks so lacking of any sort of confidence or sharpness in that final third. And it is a worry. It is a worry. But mate, it's fucking February 1st. It's February 1st, and I can't wait for this thing to be over, to be honest with you.
I know. I'm looking forward to, in a way, I mean, we all are. Our one hope for the season is the Champions League, right? And we know these players, like, when the moment is there against a massive game, the performance it's going to. I mean, we saw against Manchester City earlier in the season when we were playing poorly, and then we beat Man City 1-0. And I would not be surprised whatsoever if we beat Real Madrid. Do I
Yeah,
expect it to
yeah,
happen with
yeah.
what's been going on? No, I don't expect it, but I would not be shocked whatsoever because I know that those players have the quality, right? That they can turn it on and they can perform when it matters in these massive games. Now, is that does show a problem that's going on of why we can't perform week in, week out in the league. But I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever if we beat Real. I wouldn't be surprised if we actually won the Champions League either. That wouldn't surprise me
Yeah.
at all because we have it in us, and so
I think the only
that's
thing
all we have really this season. That's what we have to look forward to,
for me
really.
though, like like Wolves away in the cup. I know it was like a scrappy 1-0, but there was so much. There was so much that was not to be positive about. And there was a few different players in, but the way that we played looked a lot more solid.
Yeah.
And like there is pulses. I know it was disappointing. There was about 20 minutes of the second half, particularly, that was really disappointing from the weekend. But there is a lot more. Like I know we are clutching here, by the way, but there is a lot more positives to take from if you think about the last Brighton game and then the last Brentford game, where we're just conceding so many like just the most ridiculous chances. We do seem to be a little bit more solid, which I suppose is a plus side. And we did, if you think about that game, we create chances. Harvey had one where he could have hit one earlier. Salah had one where it went wide and stuff like that. So there is parts that you can say, okay, well, it is slightly getting better. So hopefully we can. We're talking before after Wolves, we've got Everton, and then we've got Newcastle. I think it is, isn't it?
Newcastle.
So,
yeah.
So we've got like if we can win, if we can beat Wolves and then beat that lot, it sort of kicks you. We just sort of literally just need to take each game as it comes and try and get like a little run together.
Well, these next few games are games, that we should. The Newcastle game is going to be difficult just because of where they're at, but they're playing the League Cup final a few days after, so that's definitely going to be on their minds. But these are winnable games that we have coming up before we play the likes of Man United, Man City, and Arsenal. All those are coming up afterwards. You would think these, including Wolves, these next three games, we need to be aiming for maximum points from these games. And then once you get into that period where you're playing Man United, City, and Arsenal, the likes of Jota should be back. Diaz might be close to getting back. Virgil, and then things you actually give yourself something to grab onto as well for the run-in for the rest of the season.
By the way, mate, what's going on with Bobby Firmino? It was like he was meant to be out for like 10 days, and he's been out. I'm sure it's got to be about 5 weeks now. He's been out for.
Yeah, he hasn't played since the World Cup, right? He was injured. Like, we were brilliant. We were I wouldn't say brilliant, but we were really good before the World Cup when we had Firmino playing, Nunes left, Salah right.
Better.
We were much, much better, right? And then, since Firmino has been obviously a huge loss because he's massive for a Klopp side. That is the kind of the peak of. So, but there's rumours he's signing a new contract as well. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah.
But who knows? I don't know what the deal is. So it's a bit odd.
The thing we ask every week and
get wrong every week.
What are you going for? What are you going for?
Well, I'm even like. I'm not gonna predict us to lose because then I would feel bad for the next few days before the game started. I might as well predict us to win because then I'll have something to cling on to for the next few days. And then if we lose, I'll feel bad for a day after instead of 4 days before. So, well, I think our defense. I think we will be all right. I'm gonna say that we're gonna win, and we're gonna win 2-0. Wolves 0, Liverpool 2. I'm gonna say 2-0 clean sheet, and everyone's gonna be happy again for a few days.
It's my stock score, to be fair. I've been saying, I think, for the last 3 games.
It's like my 3-1. That's kind of my stock score. It's my go-to,
Yeah, I'll take another Liverpool 1-0 win at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, we will take anything as long as it means Liverpool won. But
Of course, yes.
1-0 Liverpool, I think, is what I'll go for. A clean sheet again would be nice. But
Certainly would. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, this is where we're recording this on a Wednesday night, and
Yep.
just so everyone knows, we're not in the pub, and just me and Julian on at the minute because everyone else has lost power. We're having a bit of an ice storm in Texas at the minute, so the pub's short. Everyone's lost power, but we seem to be okay at the minute.
Yeah, we're surviving somehow. Yeah, Austin has yesterday on Tuesday and today Wednesday is extremely cold. All the trees are collapsing everywhere. Internet is out for a lot of people. Power is out all over the city. It's like shops are closed, the pubs are closed, but
we still bringing this.
We found a way, Glenn. We made it work, right? So, yeah.
I'm just that I'm that annoyed, just sat in my house, not being able to move with me missus and my kid. I'm like, let's just talk about the Reds, even though the Reds are doing me head in. I'm like, mate, let's get on for half an hour.
What's been great, right? We've been able to do this Wolves preview, and we haven't spoken about transfer market. That's why this has been, we're very happy, so we won't have to touch on that.
Good time to win then.
Yeah.
But before we do end, I was just going to say, if you haven't had a chance, guys, check out Darren done an interview with Darren done an interview with a guy that does the murals all around Anfield. He's done the last one he's done at the big Luis Diaz one, and he's done another couple of really good ones. A Shanky one and a Salah one as well. So go check that one out. It's a really, really good listen to. I listened to that one last night. Have you listened to it yet?
Yep. Yeah, I listened to it last night, and it is. I liked his Robbie Fowler story about when Fowler came to meet him when he was sick. Oh yeah, it was good. Yeah, definitely worth listening, watching that. It is really good. It's really interesting as well. So, all right, good stuff. So, yeah, rock on. Hopefully we'll win. Hopefully we get a clean sheet. Hopefully everyone feels great because we got the derby coming up with big old Daesh. We don't like, you know how him and Klopp get on. So we need to get Klopp in a good mood before that. Yeah,
that club is enough. I could do about 3 hours just on that club. That, to be honest with you, they're the only thing keeping me going at the minute. So
all right. It is. It does make it better because if Everton were doing all right, we were doing shit. It would be really miserable. But the fact that we're doing shit, but Everton are doing really shit, just makes it that little tad better, right?
If anyone, a little bit. Yeah, if anyone is thinking about our transfer policy and the way our club is run and our owners and stuff, I can assure you, just go on like any Everton media or whatever, or Twitter. If you don't know, oh my god, honestly, it's absolutely ridiculous. It was so funny, and I'm now getting the point where I'm feeling a little bit sorry for them. Well, just a tiny bit.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah. Anyway, should we wrap it up before we start losing power ourselves? And
we will wrap it up because I had a little flicker a second ago, so that normally means something. So yeah, let's wrap this up. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Make sure you subscribe down there. Make sure you give the thumbs up. Leave some comments. Let us know what you think the score is going to be, and have a good one. Cheers, Glenn.